Are you live?
Live.
Okay. All right, we'll start the meeting at 6:15. Oh, late. My fault.
Say that again.
My fault. 100% my fault.
I didn't even realize we had a meeting until Justin told me, so.
Yeah, he called me. Weird phone for a while. Okay. I wasn't here for the last meeting, but I appreciate the detailed minutes because I was able to update some things. If everybody got a chance to read them, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion to approve the August 29th minutes.
One second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain. I was not here. A lot of this I didn't get a chance to really edit. A lot of guys had me try added some things, so they're in here. So I did read through the notes. It looks like all we're really worried about is the soft start
Yep.
on well number 3.
Yep. And I spoke with Tom, and once the soft starts are in, I can run 3 and 4
Okay.
because the way it's wired directly off the breaker to jump the starter. So we just fire the breaker, it fires it, puts power to the motor, and runs the motor.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting on Strike to get up there.
Okay. And then we had an issue with the pump, right? Like it was still tripping the breaker. What did that end up being?
It was the motor. The motor's been replaced.
Right. Okay. So we were just
Yeah.
waiting for the soft start this
Yep.
time. Okay.
Yep.
So once
That was
that's-
just the motor? We just replaced the motor, not the pump? Or the whole thing?
The pump, yeah, the whole pump.
Okay. Well, I know the other one was 2 pieces, that's why I
Oh,
was
yeah.
asking.
No, it's all together.
And then did you have any conversations with anybody about what it's like to decommission that?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think you might have saw the emails, but Jeremy had forwarded me
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just said that we already had an extension in place.
Yeah.
I forgot that those were going to him as well. We both knew what was going on, but he did not.
Yep.
So my guess is once we figure all that out, then that SOP will come into play.
Yep.
They don't really report. Again, this is just as you have time.
Yep. And we went down last week and got that all cleaned out. Tobin cleaned that all out. We climbed up in there, started purging, getting it, and we've got it down to just barely trickling.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna fine tune it with some more hydraulic cement, and we should have it.
Okay.
Yep. Down in that crawl space, it cleaned it out quite a bit.
Is it
actually.
coming around, all the way around the slab, Justin, or is it just one spot now? or-
It's just kind of one spot. It's like a seam. Right now, there's just like a seam right there at the wall where the wall comes up, and then it goes into that crawl space. There's a little tiny seam there. I just got to work that and then work it back. It's barely. It's wet, but it's not like actively running like it was before.
Perfect.
I'll have to
So-
go down there. Did the stains come out or anything?
No, the stains didn't really come out. Once we get it dry, we can paint it. But
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know with what.
yeah, concrete paint.
I don't even know if that'll cover it.
Yeah, it's a
Like
liner.
wash it with something first, maybe.
CLR.
I don't know, that's pretty thick, so.
No, we were down in there with that shop vac, and
Yeah.
it's
So
That's
we're-
good.
That's wheels in motion there, huh?
yep.
And that will just bring us down to just that chemical tank pad. And I think I know, what do we say? They come every March. I think that's what we discussed in the last meeting, is roughly every March.
Yeah.
maybe I'll get some measurements from you on what that needs to like hold a liquid, a certain amount of liquid, or is that what they're looking for? I'll have to reread that.
I think it's equal to the volume of the tank or something like that, or I'd have to reread it exactly what the volume.
Oh, on the
of
tank
it.
pad?
Yeah, for the containment.
I'll try and reread it at some point as well.
I mean, reread it and then question Dick about this. Can we just block this up?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if we block that thing up 3 feet, the 4-inch block, wouldn't that? I mean,
Do you have to get those tanks in and out? The drum is there drums down there? Is that what that is?
Yeah, they're not drums. They're big 500-gallon tanks.
Oh,
so
okay.
those are there. We did run into a problem where one was weeping. That's what the one is out there. We pumped it down and got it out.
Okay.
Replaced it. Me and Ernie did that years ago. But there's still enough room overhead where you could, even if it was something happened with it, we could cut it up with a sawzall. Maybe
even
go to
still, I
something-
mean-
maybe even go to something smaller like a 225, or a 270 tote. Because we don't use
could we
much
get a
of that
double
concept.
wall? No, like, I mean, I don't know if they do it with them barrels, but they do them in oil barrels. They do double wall oil tanks. Like, is that possible?
I still think it needs containment
Yeah.
around it, and that's the thing.
Well, I guess that's my question.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I don't know if they would like
the double oil tanks are supposed to be containment inside of each other within that. You seen the new stand-up oil tanks that?
Yeah, they're like polymer inside, stainless on the outside.
Yeah,
vice
right.
versa.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I haven't seen those.
We'll get some clarification on that one. If that's what we end up down to, I think it's more than we've done the last 2 years. So that'll be pretty good. All right. Generator grant.
Yes.
So I think I gave you guys like a quick overview of what I've been trying to do with DOS, so Department of Security, at the state. So I called and they have a office manager, whatever the proper term for it is, receptionist over there, and I talked to her and she tried to forward me to the woman, I won't remember her name at the moment. She didn't answer. I got her back. She sent me to somebody else. Didn't answer. I got her back. She said, I'm going to send you the department head. Rang. Didn't answer. Got her back. Said she would leave a message for all 3 and that someone would get back to me by the end of the week. Never heard from them. Called again today. Got someone completely new. Said it was her 2nd week there. So I'm starting to feel like maybe there's a turnover and messages aren't making it because people are just leaving. She said forward me one of the emails, so I forwarded the one of you requesting an update from, was it Sheila or something like that? And just so she had a time frame, she's like, just give me something with a time frame, and that was from July 10th. You know, and that wasn't your first one either, so, and she said someone, at a minimum, she would get back to me today.
At the very least.
Right.
Jeez.
So they work like 8:15 to 4:15. So I called at 4:45, and it just rang and rang and rang, and I got a message that said it was for the department head. They said it was a voicemail for the department head and that woman. So I left a detailed message saying that, you know, emails have been going out since late June. I forwarded an email. I called in August, again in September, and I have gotten 0 reply, and that we needed a generator in April, so, or earlier. Just want to know so that we can, I don't want to buy one and have you guys be like, congratulations, 2 days later. That'll be our luck. So that's that, but I think you guys did some talking about generator and repairs and possible.
Yep. I called Powers and spoke to the guy that works on ours and asked him what he thought. He said we could probably get away with one smaller, but because they generally oversize them for expansion, he said, but you would really need an electrical engineer to look at it and say, yeah, you can get away with one, and that's not
So
something
we need 60.
I would go with a 60. You had sent me that one online, but that was gas, natural gas.
Yeah.
I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. We'd have to
What
switch it
have
over.
diesel? Is that what we have now?
Yeah, diesel.
Yeah.
Well, you can convert a natural gas to propane, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I
Just
see.
change the office. It's no different than a stove.
Yeah. Yeah, because propane would be fine. Diesel or propane would be fine for what we're doing from
Yeah,
for a
let's say,
fuel
would it
source
matter
standpoint,
to
yeah.
us really what it does? I know, I would assume that the diesel one probably has a longer run time, or on the amount of fuel, I don't know. I know,
I don't know. I think you can get for propane. You could get whatever you wanted. If you wanted a 500-gallon tank set outside there, you could do that if you wanted. But I think you get a couple of 120s and you're going to run quite a bit.
yeah, I think you might get, I don't know how much that's gonna draw, but I know a couple, whatever they are, we say 120s, the stuff, stand-up ones, I can get
Yeah.
about a week up at my house, but that's only about an 8K.
Yeah.
So, I would assume we're on priority if we lose power anyway to be up and running.
I mean, I think a diesel one would be ideal.
It's just
Yeah.
easy, right? We need
Well,
to-
yeah, because we got a tank and everything there. I mean, just to blow it in. I mean,
Yeah, unless it's
diesel would be way
savings,
easier
I
than
don't
getting a
know,
gas
right.
guy, but
Yeah, but you said it's 60K.
Are we? Aren't we in need of more than one generator?
I mean, that one still runs, still works.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's the same vintage.
It's the
correct?
same vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was to be my next thing, right? If we gotta move forward with this, then is there another one we can replace?
Yeah, because the generator grant is good for one generator, from what I understand.
Right.
I don't know to what dollar amount. That's been a little bit vague, but
Yeah.
it seems that we should move forward with replacing the one at the pump station, and then just move forward with the generator grant. You know, the attempt to do that and replace that one with that. You know, with the grant money.
Yeah,
Needs
I
to
would
be
agree.
replaced anyway. So
Before we get into a season where
Yeah.
we probably guaranteed to lose power. I think we lucked out.
and it doesn't seem like the used market is terrible. Seems like
No.
if we're willing to spend, if we were willing to, I mean, some of the ones that Courtney's found are, 10 or 12 grand. I mean, if we were willing to spend $25,000 on a used standby, seems like you do all right. I don't know. It's worth looking into anyway.
I personally would like to see trail mounted one. Still change that one out.
So for that one, or
Well, for
in
now,
addition to
like
that
just
one?
no different than what we've done in the past when that one went down.
Yeah.
They bring in a trailer mount, sits right there, and
Like, we should have a backup now and then,
Mhm.
Especially if the used market is as good as it looks, then
I found several of them, and I mean it's one of those things you start looking on marketplace and they keep popping up.
Right.
You know,
more
like-
every day, right?
But
Locally?
there was one in Wedgeford. It was natural gas. But there's this one company, and I don't know where it is, but they got multiple standalone generators just sitting there.
Do we have volunteers or something to head that up? Or at least get some more info on
Yeah, actually, this was a Genarch 3-phase 4-wire 60 kW. That was natural gas.
what was the price on that?
4.
Right.
He's going to guarantee it for 30 days.
Right.
What
And that
about
was in
So
Westford,
that's-
Mass. So, I mean,
Yeah.
what
that's-
about a Hearn? Do they have any? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't-
it. Can they be programmed? I saw in here to run, like.
This one here had
weekly
the whole
or-
control panel and everything with it.
Can you do that with those? Make them run like once a week or once a month or something like that?
I would imagine.
I would
The
think
control
so.
panel, I mean, it's beyond me, but like I told him, I think we should just start shutting down and running it all day, one day a week. Just let it run. They come in the morning doing rounds, turn it on. When they go home, just shut it off. It's,
Yeah.
our problem lies is we got, you know, critters living in them.
There's
I nominate Courtney and Justin to solve this problem.
And just come back with a figure. We'll find you several.
there's
Yeah, 'cause
one,
it
but
seems
it's,
like-
I don't know where.
It seems like if you had
There's a
if you guys
trailer
got a-
now for 15.9.
Yeah, if you got a line on you know, a few generators and an electrician that we've had work on our stuff in the past, that maybe can take a look at it with you guys to make sure it's gonna work for us.
Mhm.
Even if we have to pay them a few bucks, whatever, you know, it is what it
Yeah.
is, so.
I mean, quite frankly, even if we get something 20 years old, we're 20 years in advance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, well, the ones we haven't done since
I mean,
early
that's
80s.
horrible
Yeah.
to say. Even if we buy an antique at this point, we're getting
Yeah.
a little further ahead.
Yeah, I still think we get the newest, I don't know, you'll find deals in there, you'll know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we don't have to get
just
something
saying.
for $5,000, you know, that's wishful thinking. We want something that doesn't gonna be a pain in
There
the
was,
ass.
and I'll have to find this place here, but I mean, you can see they got them lined right up.
Yeah.
They had multiple generators, and I think this company wasn't that far off.
And I should know this, but is ours inside right now?
This
Yeah.
one's inside. These are outside, which, why did Caterpillar, the water level is why
Yeah.
the cat wanted to put it outside, which makes perfect sense, but I don't think we need to go outside the gate like we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go, we can sit right next to the building.
Just make a pad.
We'd have to pour a concrete pad and, you know, a little excavation, a little bit of concrete, and just bolt the thing down, and then at that point, we still can run the same fuel tank that we have.
Yeah. Just run the line outside.
And then, there again, it would still be, right, because the thing would be running, so the fuel oil would stay heated,
Mm-hmm.
because that building's heated, so we wouldn't have to,
Yeah, I mean, even kerosene doesn't generally freeze, right?
the kerosene don't, I mean, we'd shoot it, but, you know, we don't have to run straight kerosene.
Yeah.
I don't,
No.
it's just number 2 in there now, isn't it?
Yeah. Throw some 911 in the tank.
Right.
Yeah, so we used to do behind Troy, it was just throw one bottle in every month or so.
Right.
All right, you guys need any more information? You good with that?
Nope.
See which one there's. Okay.
What do we got in the budget for that? This is the sewer budget?
The project.
Yep.
I printed out 50 something.
Like,
Down at the bottom, second one.
yeah, you did like 64,585.
Yep. There you go. 64,585.
10.6 million, we only need a small portion of that.
Alright, so the USDA has been working with small communities around. Newport was given $7.29 million for a wastewater treatment facility and new community center.
What are you looking for?
And a copy of the,
Well,
So USDA is giving away money too for grants and stuff.
What are you looking for this?
Newport, New Hampshire, that I figured.
I don't need
Yeah.
mine.
he's so good.
What if,
I think,
I'll have to look up Newport, if I remember right, Newport was similar to us in that,
Yeah, I think they're a little bigger.
maybe, I don't know, yeah.
Not like.
It seems like it was,
Newport's a little bigger.
yeah, it seems like one of
are they
those.
lagoons though?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so.
Well, this is just for a wastewater treatment facility. They gave them the money, $7.29 million for it.
Take that.
Yeah.
We take 70,000 right now just to get a pickup truck.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, while you brought it up, what?
So
I saw that-
64 is in the project account for sewer. We don't wanna spend all that on a generator, but that's how much we got to work with on for generator stuff.
I think we can find a few.
Got 84 in PDIP also.
Yeah, I would say we guess we found it for 16 or less.
But we still gotta match whatever we get for grant too, so gotta keep that in consideration.
Yeah, I think that's 50%.
Right.
Do we remember what the quotes were on new ones?
It was like 50,000, I think.
And then
Well, I
100,
don't
then
know.
130. Those are
The
three quotes.
Caterpillar was 130 turnkey package.
Well, do you have that? Because there was a huge expense there. There was like removing the generator and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's all I know is that all I have in my head is 130 for one and 50 something for the other. So it's like, I don't know. I'm lost as to what these actually cost.
I got a little EU 2000.
Oh,
You guys
three-
have it.
I got a Predator. It won't run a vacuum. It doesn't.
I go.
The little 1400
Harbor
suitcase
Freight?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one too.
Yeah.
And all they did was run 2 battery chargers for like
Yeah.
$2.
I like it, but it won't run a friggin' vacuum.
But there was a huge. That was
The Gemini was 54,125.
And what was that? What model was, like, what brand was that?
Kohler 60 REOZK.
that's diesel. I didn't know Kohler made a diesel generator.
Yeah, Kohler, diesel Kohler.
It's not usually a 7, right? When you guys wrote that, I was like, am I going insane?
60
Oh,
gallon
man.
tank.
Nothing the 2.5 years I've been here. Used to be at 5.
That one
Been here that
60
long.
gallon day tank with it.
It's not the years, it's the mileage, Corbin.
Well, I just know I've been here longer than you.
That's right.
60-gallon day tank. How long do they plan on running this thing?
Yeah. All day. Once a month.
Well, a day tank would indicate there's another tank that has much more fuel in it.
Yeah, 275.
Yeah.
It says use the existing 275 tank.
So that's an all-in price for that 54 or whatever?
Yep.
Okay. That seems like it's not even worth looking at the other one. I don't even know what. I mean, I'd like to know what the extra cost is in the other one, but.
So I think there was
Hardly
a bunch of
competitive.
extra costs in that one, like removal. I guess. I think
That
they
was
wanted-
that's included in the 54.
Yeah, I know, but it was
Yeah.
pretty big money.
I think Tobin will get that other one out of there.
Does it indicate what the actual generator costs new?
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't have a
I
breakdown.
thought it had a breakdown for some reason.
Unless it's in here. Oh, it's on grant application, so. Unless it was on the old. Unless it's on the old quote. Just Google that Kohler generator and get a price on what they cost.
Right. Figure out what the difference is for all the setup and all that. Anywho.
Okay. Someone brought up the truck, so I'm gonna go with that first because it's not even on here, I don't think. So.
Yeah, it's down new business.
Okay, alright, so we'll keep going on it. Alright, the meter replacement thing. My goal was to sit down before the meeting, but I thought I had an hour to do that. So when I first flipped through that, I mean, that was a pretty strong quote, money-wise. If I read it right, when I kind of flipped through it, and it's possible I did not, but I think that was for the style where we don't even have to drive around. That was for the full radio, be able to like hit a button and be done with it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think that was for radio reads, the quote that we got.
like without driving.
No,
here.
that's the driver
Okay.
on. That's
It seemed
not,
like there was a piece in there that was quite expensive, and the breakdown was like an antenna of some sort. So that's what made me think that it was the style, but we didn't have to drive at all. So I was gonna just ask before I went through it whether that's what we were looking for. You know, my understanding is we can drive, but right, there's no reason for us to spend the money to.
The only reason that I was interested in knowing more about that part of it is back when this was first discussed, there was some idea that maybe this would be part of a bigger expansion of SCADA and all of the, you know, parts and pieces of it, so we have a little more broader control over the system, like turning on and off, you know, pumps and things like that. And I didn't know if while we're doing this, if the component on the sheet there that's allowing us to do those things from here needs to be done anyway at some point down the road. If it does, then it might make sense to do it now. I don't know, it depends on the price.
I don't think you can integrate, though. That would be two different things.
Okay.
The software for reading meters versus the software for the SCADA.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with the drive around portion, like just the straight radio reads, because if we're going to the wells every day anyways, in the pump station, we're getting half the town just by doing the rounds.
Right.
So it's really not that
Yeah.
much more that you're going to add to it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And then, I mean, even if we did go to a SCADA where we only needed to visit the wells a couple days a week, just to stock up chemicals, you can schedule your sampling or your reading to coincide with it. Go, we got to go to the wells. Why don't we just read meters while we're at it?
Yep.
Okay, so I will dive into that before the next meeting. That's fine.
I mean, that is pretty cool that you can hit a button and
Right.
collect them all.
Yeah, but it would
Create a
be-
bigger system, it might be
Yeah.
more beneficial.
Yeah.
Whatever, but-
Okay, so I'll be on that. And then this one as well, you guys were kind of waiting on me. I'm gonna assume maybe that did Bill say he was gone, or he's probably on the 7 p.m. schedule?
He's supposed to be coming back
You
down
do.
tomorrow.
Okay, so he's gone, alright.
Well, it's 8 o'clock there. They're an hour ahead of us.
Yeah, I don't know if he's driving overnight. I don't know what his travel schedule is. or how they
So
do it.
basically so I've been starting to get emails, I don't know if you've been seeing them as well. The state will do grants specifically for water and sewer departments for their own solar systems. So the two big things for me is if we do the PPA, it doesn't cover our entire usage. And there's a question of whether it covers 20% or 80%. The way I understood it is it covers 80% of our usage. But the system won't be designed big enough to cover all of our usage if we do buy it. I think that's part of how the PPA works. So the beauty of it is it's no money out of pocket. It covers 80% of our electric bill, and then we can buy it. I had a guy working on a quote. It's a little bigger than he normally would, but he said you should be able to build it for the same price as the buyout was at year 6 or 7. You could probably build your own and offset 100% of your electric needs immediately. So the idea behind that would be, as in a residential way, if you were to finance it, you just want your loan payment to be less than your electric bill, and then it makes sense, right? It's steady, it never goes up or down, it just stays the same, and then when the duration is over, it goes away, and electricity's free after that, I guess. It's free. Does anybody have any? I think we should move in either direction, right? It's going to save us money regardless. One of them's going to require a lot of work on our end, but if there's grants towards it,
Well, probably divvied out as quickly as generator grants.
That was my first question.
I don't know, and I don't know how hard it is to write for a grant and all that, and maybe that's probably with everything else going on, it's a little bit more than we want to chew when there's an opportunity for something that's no money out of pocket.
My thought is, we've got 10 years in front of us of just work and getting things sorted out between, whether it's us or people in this group that are doing it. And from what I understand with the PPA, they do all the maintenance. This thing is taken care of. If it needs anything in those first several years or whatever, they do all of that. And then after that, it's like if it needs a, I don't know, whatever it needs,
If you
a
buy
controller
it,
or
if you
something.
don't buy it, they take care of it
The
for
whole
the life
time.
of it.
The
yeah.
whole time. So, do they do the maintenance around it and things like that? Like keep the grass cut and all of
That'd
that?
be a question. I didn't fully read that. You know, Bill had asked for like a sample contract and what it looked like. I didn't fully read that. That would be a question.
Whoever does it doesn't have to fence it in like they normally would on some other property
No.
because we're already fenced in here. So, yeah, it seems like that should be negotiable. We'd want them to keep it cut so we don't have any of our equipment anywhere near it or what have you. And it sounds to me like besides us just having a few conversations, the construction phase is handled entirely by somebody else when you do it that
You
way.
literally just sign the contract, right?
Right.
And let it ride.
Yeah, that, even though, I mean, we might be able to squeeze pennies out of the other process, I just don't, it's too much to take on if you,
Yeah, and I think if
we'll
we
just do
wanna-
everything poorly and nothing, you know, we won't do anything well if we take on too much.
Right.
And that'll be a nice little bonus, and even if it costs us a little bit, or we don't receive as much savings by doing it that way, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, and then if we wanted to buy it, you can always add tack-on panels on the end of it and try and cover everything for short money at that point.
Yeah.
You know, 30 panels now is pretty cheap. Okay.
That would be my thought.
Yep.
So what about losing power? If you have, I mean, how does that work?
So you're not even really, you're basically, it's not like it's coming directly in here,
Okay,
right?
that's-
Yeah, you're
Pumping the
producing, yeah, you're producing a certain amount, they're monitoring it, and they just take it off your bill, and you know, even in the, on a like on a private standpoint, if you wanna try and overproduce in the summer, cause you're not gonna produce in the winter time, so they kinda bank it for you and sell it back in.
Yeah, it's not like you have a bunch of lithiums in the basement that you.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
how it works.
right.
I personally, I don't really.
It's
Right.
car batteries in this town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we only use
AGMs.
lead acid. in
It might be it's lead acid.
But yeah, that's the only way that your panels would have to power a battery backup if you wanted the panels to strictly run your home.
Yeah, so in this scenario, we'd still have the same backups that, you know, the generators, all the stuff.
Well, I
that would
just
be
didn't
running
know
right
if
off the
that's
main
where
power,
we're
yeah.
getting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I don't think we're getting away from any of that by doing this, but.
Stupidest question is one that's not asked.
Well, but I think the reason why it's so important is because of our $70,000 a year electric bill, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 50 a few years ago, and now it's 70 something, 70 plus, so.
Right, so if I'm understanding it right, yeah, that should.
Yeah, if it's 80% covered, we don't have to do anything except have a few meetings and make sure that the people do what they promised to do. That seems like a good deal.
Yeah, it's
Like
like,
I said, it was $55 grand.
yeah. That'll buy a generator.
Right.
Or a
First
truck,
year.
truck, Justin.
First year.
Ooh, there we go. All right.
Small one. As long as we can get the proper signatures.
It seems like maybe it's probably more important to just kind of get it like under contract than some other things, just because once it's going, it's somebody else is going to be handling it from there, and the appetite for solar seems pretty good right now. But how long does that last? You know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I didn't want to put this off to the point where it was like, nope, well, no, that ship sails. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
your town's full already.
Right.
Yeah.
The sun doesn't exist anymore.
Or just,
Yeah.
I mean, they're privately owned, really. There's just someone funding it, and if he's got other projects, maybe he's like, no.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, I think they have a pool that they pull from, like nationwide. But, SOV tracker, that's between you and Bill.
Yep.
Okay.
Bill's on the commission now, so
Right.
what?
Well, not yet. So
Yeah,
swear.
it has to be sworn in.
I have the paperwork to swear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once
That's
he-
fine.
once he
He's
swears
with
at me,
him.
he's
We
good.
talked about it last meeting. I did meet with him, and he's gonna tweak a couple of things.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you guys know what's going on.
But we should assign the solar project to him.
Right, like
Yeah,
he was
entirely.
Oh,
running
yeah.
with it
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my bad for kind of holding off, but
Now that he's in, just do that.
okay. kind of missed, well, like there's some stuff in here, and they look like a lot of it was tabled. I don't know if we have stuff to go over or not on the staff organizational stuff. I'll start with whenever you guys have free time. I know you don't do much around here, but you guys are sitting around doing nothing. If we can start kind of building Tobin's, just all his work experience and education and all that, and present it in some sort of like detailed resume way. You know, even if we just start jotting stuff down on a piece of paper and then we tune it up and keep going, the sooner we can submit that into DES, then they'll tell us how much time they can remove from.
Yep.
from
I don't
that
know
process.
if his previous employer, he may have tracked that stuff for billing wise. So,
If we had that, that'd be hugely helpful.
yeah,
How much time you spend in the manhole,
yeah,
so to speak.
yep,
Yeah, however detailed we can get it, and you know, the way they described it was just put everything you can on there, and they got a department that reviews it, and they'll just start taking time off it. So I think
Yep.
that's important. Again, it's not immediate. I mean, he's accruing time right now, but
yep,
as we get further along, we can hopefully shorten that up.
yep. I got him on the computer for a little while today and entering some data, so
Okay.
it's kind of it helps out a little bit too, because he's getting the rounds done. Like down, I'll have him. Like I have no problem sending him to the wells now by himself because he can do that,
Okay.
and just write down the numbers, and then now I got him on the computer entering the stuff in so we can kind of see, okay, this is why we need this
Yep.
and why we grab it, and this is what it's for, and it's entered in, and
Yeah, the how is one thing. The why is
yeah,
what makes it work. you know?
exactly.
That's great.
So I was up meeting with Ebby, and I had him hand out door knockers, and when he got back I said, hop on that computer and start typing in numbers. So, and they all look good. It's not like, because I can review it, and if I see there's a number that's out of whack for a totalizer, I'm like, yeah, something's not right here. But
Yeah, that's great. It frees you up at the same time. Let's see. So we'll just run down these, I guess. So, did we have something here that we reviewed for personnel policy? Did you pull something from the?
So we had the town's policy and the existing water sewer one, and the only difference were the, words,
The
reward
time
reward
here
versus
and comp time at the town.
So
The way it was handled at the town, right, was different.
Yeah.
But the names are different, but I think it's the same idea.
yeah,
I think the town still needs to be different too.
Do we want to just adopt one the same as the town, and it worded different but handled the same? Do we just want to call it the same thing, or how do we want to do that? Because that was our goal, right? Was to be more uniform across the board.
Sorry I interrupted you, Adam, but it was the reward hours here, you needed to capture your reward hours within 2 weeks. I think at the town, it was something longer than that. So the way the comp, they call it comp hours, we call it reward hours, same idea. The way the comp hours are handled, they're banked for a longer period of time. I can't remember what it was, but and then there was some discussion as to whether or not it needed to be banked for a specific period of time based on law, and we haven't looked into that yet.
Okay.
So the law is, what we required was, we had to use it within 2 weeks, which is against the law. You cannot require them to use it in a certain deadline except a year after they've earned it.
So they have up to 1 year to use the.
Yeah, and then it
comp
basically,
time.
Goes away, or
yeah.
yeah.
Well, the part that gets me is I don't see a way that you can take a non-exempt employee and not pay them for the hours worked. I just don't see how that's even possible. So, so this has to apply to exempt employees only, salaried employees only. That's the only people that it can apply to. Because if you got somebody that works 42 hours and you say, well, we'll just take that 2 hours and give it to you later,
Right.
I don't think that works.
I think
so.
I'm not positive with this, but I'm pretty sure Keene did something like that. I don't know if they still do, where if you were an hourly employee, you got overtime. You could either collect overtime pay or you got comp time as time and a half.
Okay, so
That's how it is. It's,
yeah,
you get your choice.
that would definitely,
But I'm not positive.
yeah,
Still
because
do
it would
but
have
I'm
to
pretty
be,
sure
at the
that-
very least, it would have to be that. It would have to be time and a half, no matter
Yeah,
what. If you got that
That's how the
time
state
later.
handles it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm hourly technically.
Yeah.
but
What?
Okay.
No,
Every-
that's how
every
that's how it is for
employee
us too.
governs
So like,
hours.
one of our recent employees used it because she didn't have time for vacation, so she worked extra hours instead of getting that time and a half. She got the time and a half as vacation
Banked.
time,
Yeah.
banked.
Okay.
And she used that for her vacation, which saved her going in the hole, and she was able to use it.
Okay. What about salaried employees? Do they have, what's the policy for that?
That's a whole nother
Yeah, exactly.
ballpark to play in. So technically, if you work over 60 hours as a salary employee, you get time and a half as well.
Yeah.
Is it
And
60?
last I checked, it was 60.
It's 50. I mean,
Yeah,
municipalities
that was
definitely, but anything is 50, over 50.
That's what we.
My
that's what-
salary guys.
That's what Troy does too for like the police department and highway department. They get over something. The salaried employees get over something, and they start to
Yeah,
get overtime.
I
I don't
think
remember what it was.
highway department in its contract how much it is.
Yeah, I know Dave has some 50-something hours, 55 or
It
something.
might be
like
50
that.
hours,
Or maybe it's 50.
but it's 50 or 60, somewhere in there, and they're supposed to start as well. And it's one of those fickle things where you don't know really what to do.
Yeah, because you've already granted it to them, and it's hard to do. So I guess the long story short is we don't know exactly how legal we are, or not legal the town is. So adopting either
Either one is-
moving away from what we're doing now is like until we know more.
Okay.
It seems to just make no sense.
Yeah. And then I don't know how important this is either, but the next one, I think we should probably get squared away, right? Or is that dependent on that as well, but get a contract in place. Where did we leave with that?
I thought there was going to be some sort of temporary thing that was going to just be put in place to get us by for a few months, and then.
I think, I don't know, did you see the one that I sent up there? I mean, it was really crude, but, and then we kind of realized,
see that one.
okay, that there wasn't any legal issue with you not being under contract, but I think you want, right, you wanted to be, and if you want to be, I want you to be, so,
Come in every day, I get my paycheck every week.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty happy.
right, all right.
Seems like a pretty
Yeah.
standard contract.
Right, so
It's
just
like
wanna-
most labor
I
contracts.
kinda know what I
Yeah,
have
you
to
come
do.
to work, you get paid.
right,
Yeah.
well, if that changes, just let us know before, if you're upset, so,
I'm not losing sleep over it every night, thinking,
Okay.
geez, I wish my contract would come in.
Right.
Kick it down the road then.
I'll-
Yeah, you're just an employee at will according to the.
I'll put a deadline of December 25th.
Okay,
So
we'll
you
get-
look for
we'll get it
Christmas
for you for
presents?
Christmas.
I expect it to be here when I come in to do the rounds before I open presents.
Deal.
I don't know who the presents are coming from, but.
It's coming down the pipe.
There you
Yeah.
go. Chimney's right there.
It's just coming down the pipe.
Commission bylaws, what were we?
So I reached out to NHMA. We are not allowed to have alternate members. So I was told to ask that question a couple meetings ago, was whether alternate members were allowed to fill in for recusals or absent members at meetings like the planning board, and they said no. There's nothing in the RSA's that govern us that authorize that, so not allowed.
Okay, and this is why this was on the,
Yeah, I guess we were holding off just because if it allowed it, we could have adopted that, and then that would have changed the document.
okay.
But-
So
I move to adopt the commission bylaws as written by Adam.
Second.
Any further discussion around that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can you just attach one of those with the minutes?
I'm just excited that we accomplished something.
I think we're gonna have a lot of stuff that's gonna start falling into place pretty quick.
This next one's me.
Okay.
I still owe you guys this, so I got two, Justin actually sent it to me right after we discussed it at the first meeting. And I've got the two, payment plan, agreements, the one that was created by them and the one that was created down here, and I'm intending on, combining them into something that's a little more streamlined, that both of them have actually good qualities that could be used together to make a nicer product, so. But let's not have that slow us down on shut-offs and all that stuff. If
Yeah.
somebody,
I did.
work with whatever one you can to make sure, because I was just looking at, I'm assuming this is a shut-off list?
No, that's it's the late payment list.
Okay,
I had Evie print that out today, as of today. She said it might be a little bit less, because she did get some payments in.
okay,
But,
Yeah, I think I
and
got
she's
one.
gonna be she is sending out late notices. She asked me about it, I said, just send them,
yeah,
just do it.
okay.
So,
What's the, so what's the date on these? What was the due date on these?
I think I have them here. I think.
Is it alright to talk about this right now, Mike, or?
It's in there, I
Okay.
mean, let's just remind everybody not to say names, and then I got some, I know one of them in here is waiting on something from me, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Or something else.
The due date was August 5th, so I've got a month past the due date.
This is, yeah, I know, that's paid. I have no confidence in some of this.
Seventh date,
Right. Do we know a due date on this? There's no report date, there's no
right,
nothing on here, it's like impossible to know. I mean, this could be literally billing due yesterday. I know it's not, we're getting ready for Reed, so it has to be.
at some point, I'd like to sit down, and we'll have some more questions, so maybe I'll go up and just get a little bit more clarification on this with Evie.
I know one of these, the names is wrong.
Do we still have some issues of billing address versus physical address? Does anybody know that?
Not that I know of.
That was just like a software change in that, right?
Yeah, the same with the name
There's
that he's
one.
talking about.
Okay.
He used to live there years ago. It's been 3 years or better. But when they did the software changeover, it pulled his name over.
Phew.
I'm hoping that as we address these individually, that we'll just have to take them one by one, and then hope we see it move in the right direction, and if it takes a little time, it takes a little time. But I'll be happy to sit down and at least get some clarification on this. I'll ask that later. Okay, we'll circle back to that.
You're gonna put this in a non-public? So
Yeah.
we can talk about this? Is that
Yeah,
what we're
because
gonna
I
do?
got some other things that they'll fit right in with, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think I see one of them on.
Mhm.
Alright, so come back to that. The job postings, let's see, well, we'll talk about, you guys talked about the resume we didn't receive for the operator part of it.
Yep, I sent him an email, and I haven't received anything back yet, so hopefully I get something.
Yeah, and then if I read the minutes correctly, we were gonna work on a job description
For the office admin, I haven't had time to sit down and do that.
That's fine, yeah.
Yep.
And those other ones are still up, right? Do we have to renew the one for the licensed operator anytime within place, or is that just stapled?
We may have to renew it with Granite State. I'm not sure how long they posted it for.
Who set
Is
that
that-
up?
I haven't do that.
Is that operator one going, we're gonna do that in non-public?
We can, I think you guys talked about it, if you wanna talk about it more,
We
probably
talked
should.
about it in non-public.
Yeah, but was there more, there was,
He just said he emailed them and he didn't respond.
oh, you didn't respond, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
missed
haven't
that.
gotten anything back yet.
Okay,
So,
alright, so you emailed them right after we
yeah.
talked, and you didn't hear back from them.
So
Is there
You got the right-
I'm not
email?
sure what he gets paid now, so maybe I know where he's working now. I'm sure he gets a pretty good salary. So
Yeah.
So in the email that I went back and forth with Granite State, they didn't indicate a date,
Okay.
but it's supposed to be on their website as well.
Where else did we list that? I know it's on the town site, right?
NHMA, Jeremy posted it there for us.
Sorry, did we say something about the office admin too? I was reading
yeah,
something.
I haven't put anything
Okay.
together yet with that.
Alright, anything else old business wise? Alright, this one I left on there, I just need to know, you guys had talked about it, well, I didn't even know if it was worth talking about. Do we wanna stick with Worldwide for that firewall protection for now, and just, I don't know,
Yep.
how often is that, a year?
Did we?
Yeah, I sent it up. I stamped it. And,
Okay.
Yep, I have a meet. They're going to be here to go over a few things on the computer with me on Friday morning. So
Okay, because I had asked Jeremy, just to fill in the whole story, I asked Jeremy about the fee that they had charged, and at first they were just like, you know, he can remove it, and I said, I just want some clarification on it, and then he realized it was like a whole company-wide thing that everybody got billed out, so I think he refunded the other accounts in town for that, because they were already paid, and said he would remove it, and Jeremy had asked me, and then I missed the meeting, and then we canceled one, and so it's been a bit, but you took care of it, that's great.
Yeah, because we voted last time to just do it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so you did talk about it. This one, I just left it on because I'll need it, not need it, but I can update, the planning board at the next meeting on the, I don't know if you know where the entrance is gonna be over there, or the proposed entrance, I should say.
No.
So, I think the sewer line runs down this side, like facing this way,
Parallel
the
to the
right,
road tracks.
right side of the road.
It runs parallel to road tracks, right? The brickyard.
So.
No,
We're
he's
talking about
Door
crossing
Street.
over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was.
You're in the same
I'm like-
la la land I am.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we all are. We walked the properties not that long ago, and they started asking, we were talking about like the road thickness and all that, and then where that line might be, because they're gonna, you know, if it passes, they'll bring in some pretty heavy equipment a couple times, you know, in and out over it. They just wanna know where it is. When they put their entrance in, they said they'll only dig down about 4 to 6 inches, but just want, obviously, to know where all that is, and if equipment would affect it at all, and how they need to, they'll do whatever they need to do, we just need to tell them.
Yep, I can mark it out. I'll pop the manhole here and get a depth there, but a depth where it comes up through the woods, I'm not sure. But that's not on.
Like, is it on the side of the road, is it on that property, or is it
It's
in the
not
road?
on that property. So you're talking this property here where the gate
It'd be-
is, where the
it'd be
guy's
like-
got the camera.
Yeah, it'd be just past the crematorium there, the next lot.
Yep.
But there's a big culvert in the road, they'll be coming in on
Yep.
this side of the culvert, but.
Yeah, they'll be a ways away from it. The only thing they'll have is that manhole, and there's a vent pipe that comes up.
Yep,
That's where
I
it
saw that.
transitions. That's where it transitions from force main to gravity.
Okay.
So
That'll be good enough for now.
yeah, he'll be in the road. There'll be plenty.
I think that the next meeting we'll be voting on it anyway, or, no, 2 meetings from now we'll be voting on it, so.
Yep.
Okay. So it's a non-issue almost, right?
Yep.
That's how I'm understanding
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're aware of it,
it. Yep.
they know what's there. Don't believe they're going to be digging in the road, so they're
No, we might find that if they go forward, they're gonna skim coat that road anyway. That's,
We don't have any abatements, do we?
We do.
I have
I don't-
updates from the ones from last meeting.
The updated abatements.
Updates. I got more information, like over the
Perfect.
ones that we couldn't make decisions on.
yeah.
He's good to go, Adam. Just checking.
The next one, I don't know if we should just do that in non-public.
Abatements.
No,
Oh.
do you wanna go over those? Did we do them in non-public last time?
No,
No.
Okay.
just use the number, like,
Yep.
1425 or whatever it is.
Looks
Aren't
like
they all the
David-
same number though?
No.
Two of them. Two of them are the same number.
So, 1424 said it was pending Commissioner Davis' discussion with property owner.
It was exactly what I thought. We did the fire hydrant down there. We disconnected that service because it was broken. It never got recorded. So what he's looking
It was
for,
shut
it's
off.
It was off.
Okay.
We shut it down. Nobody lived in the dwelling, and we had to cut the service.
Okay to
And they were
abate.
still getting.
It is
billed.
okay to obey.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we wanna handle these all in one motion or?
Probably
What's
not.
that?
I don't.
Okay, you're good.
So I make a motion to approve the 1424.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abatement 1024, pending superintendent page for discussion with town hall.
So that one, it looks like
What street's it on? Give me a.
Monadnock Street. So I've got the bill that they have, and their bill was $70, but their other amount due is $898.38 because they're saying that meter malfunction only receives water service and usual bill is a minimum, but that $898.38 was outstanding.
Oh, so it wasn't even part of the.
Yeah, so I don't get. They've just been receiving minimum bills, but they haven't been paying it. What I'm
How many
getting at.
Yeah, we haven't.
Been a
We're
while.
not shutting anything off. We're not collecting our.
Abby, if I go up that with that when I do this, will she have, can I look up a history, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, alright, just we'll leave that one pending with me and then.
Did this guy live there that long?
I have no idea.
I'll figure all that out.
Yeah, I don't know
If I
about-
can, if there's a record on it, let me get clarification on it, and this will be good for me to see and then.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah,
He's been there a couple of years now, right?
I would say probably.
So I guess he could.
Because I was confused by it 'cause when I went and talked to her. I was like, I just replaced the repaired the meter in that, and so if he'd been using over the amount, he won't see it until this next reading. She's like, oh, so she pulled up the bill and saw that was outstanding, so
So he's never paid a water bill.
that's what it looks like.
Appears that way, we'll figure it out. 1524.
1524, now this one is
Street?
School Street.
Okay.
This is the tricky one. This is the one where they had a leak, and
This is
we
the one.
sent the meter out, had the meter tested. The meter tested fine.
Yep.
Well, I
Is this the one we got the email about?
No.
No.
No. This is the one with the 2,376.
I don't know. I was confused with all that because we had.
The email today is a new one.
What?
An email from today that we got from.
Oh, that was
separate
in-
from this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
merged them in my head too, because I was like, why is it on the list? But it's a different thing.
When we talked about two other ones on School
Right.
Street.
School Street's a.
Yeah,
So
School
busy
Street
one.
was a hot street last meeting.
Nobody wants.
But this is
You
the
wanna
one that
look-
we were gonna look at
remember-
multiple
No, I know.
quarters,
Just one number.
right? This is the big one?
Right, Nick? Yeah.
Alright, this is the one you're gonna look at multiple quarters to see what they've
Yep.
been doing in the past.
So
This time around last year, right, like, is there, something consistent from year to year?
So, and what had happened was she was getting billed a minimum bill, or it wasn't picking up the read in the software. So she was getting a zero usage in the software.
Yeah.
And then there was the estimated bill, and then right in the mix of that, she had the leak with her filtration system. So the meter was actually still working. She still used all that water, but she wasn't getting the correct bill for a few quarters. Well, she should have been
Before,
getting.
when she was getting billed, what was her usage?
She didn't. There was nothing because it wasn't switched over yet. She hasn't been there that.
Okay,
that long.
new customer.
Yeah.
The people before? It's hard to say what that means, but.
I have no idea. I wouldn't know. It'd be totally different because
Yeah.
the people before there was like one, maybe two people there.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was some ongoing leak or something from all that time.
No. So she was getting an incorrect bill right from the start, and then had a leak, and then we fought it with the meter, and we tested the meter. The meter came out fine.
What are you recommending based on your
I
lookup?
mean, I kind of feel bad. I think we should do something, but ultimately, she used it
What was
because the meter didn't stop working. The meter
where
actually
where
worked.
was the leak going?
The leak was going into the sewer
Okay.
because it was going through the backwash. Or her filtration system was like stuck in backwash,
Oh boy.
and then it was going up and out and piped around to the back of the house and then into the sewer. So it was constantly drawing when it didn't need to.
Give her a payment plan.
This is the one that Debbie had suggested some sort of thing for my.
Yeah, she had a.
Yeah.
I think Rhonda had started this. Yeah.
Any indication as to why this is like somewhere at the end of 23 and we just barely received it at our last meeting? Was there any indication as to how that happened?
I have no idea.
Did the person request it back in 23
I
or?
don't know when she requested this.
I
There's a
think-
date on it. She started, the whole thing started back when Rhonda was here. Because she said she had a leak. That's when the whole abatement thing started. And then she started saying, well, I didn't use the water, the meter's wrong. So then we had to pull the meter, change the meter, have the meter sent out, had it tested. We got the information back for the meter. And
How many bills has she
then,
received since?
I've got this. Just the one.
Just the one bill.
It would have been the one, the
Did
latest.
she at least pay the newest bill? The latest bill?
I don't know. Is it
I
on?
don't, let me see.
Is it on this?
Oh god.
It ain't on here.
No.
That's not on here. I don't.
I don't know what the address is.
It's not on here.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I checked it 3 times.
Okay, huh.
So that's a pretty hefty bill. It's not in here.
No, so recap. Person moves into the place, gets a minimum bill.
Yep.
Pays the minimum bill,
Was getting 0 usage.
right, but getting
Yeah.
a minimum bill.
Yep.
Only, and was using way more than the minimum, but was getting a minimum bill and thought that they only owed that much money on each
Yep.
quarter they paid.
Yep.
So they don't owe any of those minimum bills, they just owe this big giant bill plus this most recent bill.
Yep. This is what I'm gathering from this. So.
Okay. What's the
And
most,
but
what's
the,
the most
and the
recent
thing is,
bill? What's the most recent usage for the quarter that didn't have a leak and was actually being read?
that would have been so would have the most recent one would have been the last bill, and I do not have that
I
one.
have it.
You
I
do?
believe, hold on. Yeah, March to June, or, yeah,
Which one is this one? This is-
8,500 cubic feet.
Sure they still don't have a leak?
Yeah. So it must be that must be
17
this
times
one that
the
you
minimum.
have. That must
Right?
that must
Totals
be.
like
8,500? No, 7 times the minimum. Yeah, that's 7 times the minimum usage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if
Well-
you backdate that over all the quarters,
Yeah, I'm wondering if, I'm just thinking out loud here, it said the previous reading, well, obviously she used about 9,000 between the two, right? It's showing, you know, it shows the current and previous. Because the readings weren't going through, did she use 8,500 cubic feet over all those quarters?
no,
Yeah.
no, that was the big one before that,
But you
right?
changed the meter.
Yeah, we swapped
right.
the meter out and had it
Yeah, if
tested.
you go
so-
back to-
But they probably till we changed the meter and she wasn't getting the readings. It was coming up 0 usage, but then we got it to work, and it came up huge.
Whenever you're
So
reading
it was like 3-4 quarters worth that are just compiled.
Yes, I understand that, but do we have a fresh reading do we have a fresh quarter reading after the fix?
I don't have it. Ebby would have that one.
But
I
that's
didn't
what
get
you're
that
looking
one.
at right there.
Well, I'm looking at the last bill, and it has a previous reading, but I don't know, it doesn't say when that reading was.
Can I see the paperwork?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, sorry, yeah.
thanks. Yeah, 'cause we looked at all this.
March to June. No, so there would be. Oh yeah, no, that would be the most recent.
Right, yeah, so this says 27,800 right here is the usage for the period of time, for the whole period of time that the meter wasn't working. This finally read
Yeah.
on this one, and it gave 27,800. How many quarters was that? How many quarters was that over?
I think
From when
I
they
have that.
moved in to when the reading actually finally took?
4 quarters, approximately 4 quarters.
Okay, so what's 27,800 divided by 8,500? 3 and change.
3
So-
little change.
Right. Right, three and a quarter, three quarters in 1 month. And in the last quarter, they used 8,500 cubic feet. So it's a little heavier quarter for them, but it's pretty consistent
Yeah.
with, you get the math I'm doing
What they've
here?
been- Yeah, I get what you're doing.
Okay, so
You're
it's,
averaging it out.
right, that's why I said we need to go back and see when they're actually being read. Now we have a quarter, we have 2
Mhm.
quarters, that one was read for multiple quarters, last one was read for an active quarter, and nothing's changed, they're
Yeah.
using a ton of water,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know what average use is, it does.
Well, the minimum usage is 500.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and most of our single families in the park, in the lower park, with just 2 people living there, they never hit the minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
to give you an idea of what the
Yep.
usage is, so I this is a heavy user, just didn't get billed all at once. So I agree that if it was like, well, the new quarter that they got read was like 600 cubic feet, it'd be like, okay, the
Yeah.
leak was bigger than we thought. They didn't know because we weren't reading, and I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, we probably need to do something for them because we really should have read that for them. But after this heavy read and the conversation has begun, they just continue to use a ton of water. So you know, it's not outside of their standard usage. So that's the math on it. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's the math.
My only question would be, what is this, is any of this affected by the rate increase? Is like, because she was billed, oh no,
Because the usage.
Right, we're just looking at usage. We're not even looking at dollar amount.
Right.
Yep, just looking at the usage. So,
when are we reading again?
Next week.
Do we wanna wait and see what it comes up this time?
I mean, I think we did, yeah, I guess we got hanging on her. Like, you know,
she needs to pay the bill though. She needs to
Yeah.
pay at least the most current bill.
Yeah.
They can't just, the 8,500, you gotta pay that. The meter's been tested and changed, and now it's
Yeah.
actively being read. That needs to be paid. So, I don't know why it's not on the list.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, so, but. Courtney, what are you looking at me like that for?
You want it? Yeah, you can have it.
Well, I was looking, I was,
Sure. That goes with, oh, that was a good.
That's your papers. Why are you giving them?
It was like a combination of shocked and amused and all of the above.
that was all of them?
Then
Nope.
the other one I have is
Hold on, can we, sorry. There's 1524, oh, that one does have the same number, never mind, I thought it was the same one, but it's not. Okay, go ahead.
It'd be A and B.
So go ahead, what were you doing? 424?
no, I don't have any more abatements.
Oh, no,
Those
that
the other ones
approved,
were-
right.
yeah.
Okay, right, yeah.
We had the letter on South Street.
Right.
I don't know if you read that.
We discussed this at length.
School Street or something?
School Street, sorry.
School Street.
The changing of rates and the authority to change the rate prior to the bill coming out, we already discussed that at
I
length.
think that's the other one. Is this the one that we were talking about
Yep.
earlier?
Yep.
No, I think it's the same issue, different customer.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, same question. Right? Wasn't it, said something about?
I don't know, there's too many school
Changing-
streets. I'm sorry, I like.
Changing the rate, after, usage had been occurring.
No.
Isn't that the email I just read? We talking about one, or is this something totally different?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
so
about.
yeah, totally different one.
Okay, I'm talking about
I don't
email.
think you guys were copied on
I was
it.
on the email that.
I was with you.
What's the email?
I was waiting for a no.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
a different one. I got a copy on that.
Oh, is this one that was in the mailbox, the mail slot at Town Hall? Is this
No,
one?
the other one was in the.
Here, you want to read it?
So
I was copied it. You're gonna scroll back and forth.
Is that the email or?
This is a different email.
No,
That was the one
printed out.
third quarter or fourth.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
printed it out
And
and
that
I
was
gave
in,
it out.
yeah, okay.
That
I saw
was-
that last.
Well, you could have given us copies.
I did last week. Went
Last
through
week.
the
Did you
paper.
say-
Oh, so we have seen that one?
Yeah.
Well, I
Did
thought
you-
that too was a
I
question
just got,
you just
I
asked
just got
3
more
times.
information on
No,
it.
that's
I
all
haven't
the
seen
email
it.
that we got today. Did you say coffees or copies?
Here's something, I probably copied.
Starts out like that.
It was third
Yeah.
quarter, fourth quarter last year, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden we got the letter on it.
Yeah.
That one's on here.
Yep.
Okay.
You said you had more information on this? or
Yep.
you have-
I pulled.
I hadn't
Away
seen
we
it.
go.
I hadn't seen it 'cause I
So
was-
the last, so 23, they use 7,400 cubic feet. They average right around 2,100, 2,200 cubic feet.
Okay.
and they were disputing it. But my thing is meters don't speed up and slow down. And somebody said something about an apartment being in there. I said normally it's a toilet leaking is the issue.
All right,
So their last rating was 2,300. First quarter was 1,700. Fourth quarter was 7,400. Third quarter last year was 2,100, and second quarter last year was 2,200. So I don't know. They didn't ask for an abatement, but we also don't. I don't know what's going on. I wasn't here.
So, third quarter of 23, correct me if I'm wrong, was a estimated billing. So how do we have a number for them, the third quarter?
Because that's probably what the
That's the
estimated
estimate.
number was.
That was the estimate.
Okay, all right, so that's the estimated.
Because they took
based
the
on
average
averages,
of what
yeah.
the previous
Okay.
history was.
All right, I get you, yeah.
So it could have been something that happened third quarter, and then it just got caught up when they read in fourth.
Yeah.
Could have been a leak. It could have been a leak in that quarter.
We had a
Wouldn't
leaky
know.
toilet at one of the apartment buildings, and over a quarter, it was $1,000
Yeah. Well, it's
above our
huge.
normal bill. So,
Toilets are huge,
yeah.
big time.
Yeah, I had it right at home I sold in Florida. I wasn't there and I got a letter from their water department being like, something's going on in your house.
Yeah.
And they had a list. It was leaky toilet, a couple other things.
Yeah.
And yeah, that bill was outrageous.
I would say based on the history and the current reading, sounds to me like their meter's working fine. Do they want us to do a meter test? I mean, we'll certainly
I don't
do one.
know. This is all I've gotten. I haven't heard anything.
Well, let's
else.
reach out to them and see if they want to do a meter test. It is at their cost if it comes back good. So,
Yep.
right?
All right.
Well, it's at their cost and they're reimbursed if it comes back bad.
Okay, that's what I said.
Yep.
Oh, I do have this one.
Bill first.
Okay.
Refund.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Just
So-
say if you need his number, I have it too.
Alright, so you're gonna do that one?
Yep.
Yeah, because so far that's the research we've done, and it sounds like it's something like that's going on.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if we want to take it a little further, then that's the next step, I would guess.
My conversations were about the same with him. Because he wanted to talk to someone in the selectman's office. I walked him through basically a list of what I hear every time with all leak, this, that, the other thing.
So that's it for abatements?
Yep.
Alright, the next thing in here is, on the chemical feed part of it, right, when we did the pre-construction walkthrough and all that, we discussed on how we were gonna flush the system, and I think they had assumed we were gonna constantly run water through it at all times. And we talked about ways we could make that run on a timer so it flushed the system long enough and then shut off, because otherwise, according to Dave Mercier's calculations, we would put in an additional 2,700 gallons.
Per
Day.
Yeah, I think I'll pull up the exact number here.
But that's
per
also.
day is not bad.
But that's also we're on a well. Let's kicking our pump on and off.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it's space taken up, right? So go ahead.
Yep.
So they sent us a proposal for that and what it would cost.
Ben's not going to be surprised. He's not. You're not. You're going to say, "I knew it."
Yeah.
So-
We finally hit the exact number. Yep.
So it says, his email was, when we had the kickoff meeting for the chemical feed pilot project, Justin expressed a concern that the flushing water for the magnesium hydroxide feed system would be running 24/7, which will use water even when the pumps are not running. Attached as a price is their price proposal to add the additional functionality of explosion-proof solenoids and all that for that space of $8,621. Unfortunately, they needed an immediate decision. He was asking if I could do that, and to aid in the decision, the rotometer of the flushing water line would be set to 1.5 gallons per minute to achieve 2.5 feet per second velocity in the half-inch diameter feed pipe to prevent solids from settling and plugging the line over time. This equates to 2,160 gallons per day that would have to be processed through the plant, right? So I talked to Dustin about it real quick. I went through it all. The explosion-proof valves are marked up slightly, but the big fee is the electrical part of it.
I didn't see the.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't
electrical
look
part
at
of
it.
it's almost $6,000, right? So,
Yeah.
I talked to Dave about it. But partially is because it's gonna have a board that's programmed and it's gonna be on a timer because once the chemical feed stops, the water still has to run for a certain amount of time. So, we gave the valves things and I expressed it and Dave said I agree, but this, it's really the electrician.
What kind of water does this well make?
What kind of water does it?
I mean, how much water do we have? I mean, it's gonna.
Whatever
The wet kind.
Whatever we from the
My
sink, the
contribution
lagoon's
sink.
gonna go.
So before you even start asking
I have
questions,
no idea.
Well, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
can we even make 2,100 gallons a day?
Well,
Yeah.
we went forward with it anyway. There's $30,000 of contingency money. That's why I have that in there. That was set up for this project.
Yeah, I don't think it's for me, it's not the dollar amount, and it's not the 2,100 gallons in the lagoon. I think that's probably reasonable. It's the concern about the well, like, what's our backup plan for that?
Right, I mean, like.
We do have water in this town, right? It just doesn't come down here.
It
It's
doesn't.
fun. Who designed this thing?
Ends as the trailer park.
So we're gonna run a hose from.
Yeah, as long as you let it trickle.
Run a 2-inch line right down the road.
Yeah, I mean, that would be if it was running constantly all day, every day. So my guess is with this, we won't be using that much and we should be good. I don't think
Yep.
we need to be concerned about the well, but anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I just saw the dollar amount. I was like,
Yeah.
I looked up a
too.
solenoid valve and I was
Soon-
like, are you kidding me?
I called Dave immediately and he was like, hey, I know what you're gonna say.
Right.
And we discussed it. He's like, it's really an electrical thing, and he explained why they had to program it and all that. And the explosion-proof valves are a bit of money, and there's a little bit of markup in there.
Yeah, they got, I mean, what are we gonna do?
But yeah, so I went ahead. I'll forward that to everybody.
So it's about
It is.
a quarter of it.
Yeah.
So it was like 8 out of 3.
Yeah.
20%.
Yeah. So that's the news on that. I think they're gonna come back. I think
Right on schedule to run out of contingency, right at the end of the project. Might have to throw in $1 or $2.
So I think they're done the chemical side of it, right? It's all really
Yeah, the electricians just have to come in. They'll
Right.
be here next week.
okay.
The chemical stuff's all set up.
Already?
Yeah, they're done with that. So yeah.
I don't see all that.
Yeah, how's that looking there?
Good.
Did they put like a brand new, nice, beautiful thing inside our real crappy room?
Yep, there's 2 brand new explosion-proof LMI pumps.
Okay.
It's containment,
How's our building?
piping.
Like now we're protecting this asset that we just put in
The
there.
building's good. It's cleaned
Okay.
out. There's just a
Okay.
couple of
Brand
barrels
new
in
roof
there.
on it?
Yeah, maybe next time we'll.
Is its heat working and all that?
I haven't turned the heat on.
But
I'll test it tomorrow.
Okay.
We've been getting a lot of vapes in.
Jesus.
Been getting a lot of what?
Vapes.
Vapes. People
Things.
flushing vapes.
Really?
I was gonna put something
I
on the
can
town
put your
Facebook
camera
page,
and
but I
find
didn't
it
want
on
to stir the
my-
pot.
Um,
What's flushable and what's not.
Yeah.
I think we just
For
sent
real?
those.
Yeah.
Oh, you,
Can you make a?
yeah, set earpods out there too.
Yeah, there was
You
an
need to
air-
Clean those up, yeah.
We got a rubber ducky I was gonna put in somebody's Jeep, but
Who drives a Jeep?
Put it in my wife.
Mike's got a Jeep, yeah.
Tomorrow's the last day with it, so.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do?
you find it.
be a good time to trade it.
Rubber ducky.
Could we do a post online about that?
I have in the past like what's flushable, what's not, like
I thought we just sent one out.
grease.
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
can
we
send
get
them out,
mailed
with
once a
mailings.
year, every
Yeah.
couple of years. Yeah, we should put
That's a new
something
one,
on the we can do something on the website. I don't know what our
How's this
main
all
page
lined
has
up?
on it, but
Yeah.
we can do that. Don't we have a mailer that goes out every year anyway on the
Silver complex and all that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
we should be putting it in with that. We
Yep.
could do it, honestly, it doesn't matter, it can be stuffed in with whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it goes, but, sending something out on the Facebook page, letting everybody know exactly what's allowed and not allowed or whatever in the system. I don't know if you wanna really go into detail on what's allowed in there, but, you know,
What's not allowed.
what's not allowed, you wanna go into
Yeah.
detail on, and just make it, you know.
A lot of the stuff I
make
used
it
to
no
send out
comment.
was just like grease and
Right.
the big
Yeah.
thing was when COVID was in and
The
there was no
flushables.
toilet. Yeah, the flushable wipes that
Oh yeah,
are
we
really
dug 'em.
not
We
flushable.
had clogs in the park from that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we had people that were like, "I'm not doing that."
It
and
says
went
flushable on
we
it.
went inside to like, you know, work from the toilet side, and right on the back of the toilet, it's like a whole
Right.
thing of flushable wipes. Anyway, yeah, and I would, if you're gonna do a post on Facebook, I would just make it, restrict comments on it.
But
There's no need for that.
Just send it to Jeremy and have him put it as the change.
Right.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Post
I
it
didn't
there
want to.
from-
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I didn't want
Yeah.
to stir the pot. And
Send
Yeah,
it-
that's
just
not
put it on
pot,
the
it's not
Tobin
pot
site.
stirring, honestly, it's
Yeah.
just laying out exactly how we need our system to be treated, so.
Yeah, I think a combination of what you guys are saying, if someone posts about it and you don't restrict comments, it suddenly becomes fair game for
Yeah.
anything.
Yep.
Vapes.
Courtney
Vapes.
can post it.
I figured I saw the first one and I
like
figured
nicotine vapes or
Yeah.
weed vapes? Oh.
I don't know.
I
I
think they're all the
didn't.
same.
I didn't test it.
I think it's the same technology.
They all smell
Yeah,
like shit.
they smell the same now.
They smell
Different
exactly
flavored,
the
is
same.
it? But they all tasted the same.
They all taste the same now.
I wonder if someone's parents found them and
That's what my thought was
Right.
because I got one out of the wet well and I was like, I know exactly. The parent found it and said, you're not getting this.
Yeah.
There's been issues at library, rec, school,
Yeah.
kids.
those kids are, what do we
Oh,
call them?
yeah.
Edwards?
I wouldn't doubt it.
There's been issues all over town with those things.
Smoking a cigarette.
Do you have
Don't put him in the toilet.
is this a good time to discuss
that
the
flushable?
Throw the butt down.
oh,
right?
never mind, it's a couple lines down.
Okay. Confined space stuff, I think you had said,
I just emailed it out to you. I
okay, so
totally
we'll
forgot
save
it.
it, yeah.
I saw it on here. I'm like, oh, I have to send that. So
I just saw
I
it in
emailed.
minutes.
So-
I've got that in the lockout tag out, so
Okay.
you guys can look at it. Really, we don't have anything to lock out, but
And we'll deal with that at the next meeting, is that what I thought?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Giving them candy.
Oops, next meeting's, just an email. Alright, so let's hear about the trucks. 'Cause I missed that.
okay. So
Most exciting part for me.
first, let's start with the GMC. The GMC was down because the shift cable was junk.
Okay.
We ordered a new one off at Amazon. Came in because it was cheap. We
Yeah.
saved ourselves.
Yeah, awesome.
Put that in.
That's
Got that thing working. Friday, we were on our way to the well. One of the tires blew on us. So we were up there fighting with a spare tire for about an hour and finally got a hold of the highway department. They came down, threw about 5 plugs in the tire itself just so we could get it back to the shop while it was still leaking. Then we ended up taking a Sawzall to the cable just so we could get the spare tire down.
Yeah, right, I'm sure it's probably.
That it was seized right on.
Yeah.
Then we ended up, we put 2 new tires. The front tire, it was a front tire. They were both pretty worn anyways, so we put 2 new tires on it. So that's back and going. The Ford was going through the same problems where it would just shut down. That happened to us at the well. So we got stuck up there and left it overnight. Once it cooled down, you could drive it again. So it died going up the hill as you leave gravel pack. So had Tobin and he gave me a shove and we backed it down into the pull off and we just locked it up and left it for the night. Brought it to J&J.
It was still there when you got there in the morning?
I was wishing
too
it
bad.
was and I should have left it unlocked, but been down that road before. They just take the brass.
Yeah.
They don't leave. They leave the truck. So, we got that. Brought that to J&J's. We just got that back yesterday. What did they do? They put an alternator in it. 'Cause
They
it
put an
wasn't
alternator in it, and they put a,
EGT sensor.
you're right, and then Yeah,
which
they
I've
put
been
some other
saying
sensor
for
too.
months, the EGT sensor, because that's what it just seemed like. It cools down and then it runs again.
So far, so good.
So far, so
24
good.
hours.
We ran it today.
What did that look like, cost-wise?
I haven't got a bill yet. The cable was $25.
Yeah, I was worried it was something, yeah, that's easy enough, right? That's,
But
I'm not sure.
that thing is hurting because when we were underneath it, trying to cut the spare tire out, I mean, there's a cross member that's
That round one.
it's there. I wouldn't touch it, but
Yeah, the
and
round
then
one's
there's a pretty good sized crack in the frame that
On the
goes
blue truck or the
yeah,
white truck?
on the blue truck.
Would it be smart to
Patch it.
weld that right
Yeah.
now?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grind it and weld the crack.
Okay.
The cross member might want to just get a piece of steel and weld it in.
And
Just
take it
cut
back
the
to
old-
Just take it back to J&J and let them deal with it.
Right.
I
I
wouldn't
would
even
too.
mess with it. You got better things to do.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
take it back
very
up there and
true.
let them.
Very true.
Yeah.
They got a lift. They can put it right up on it. And,
Throw a
When do
little
we
plate of
want to
steel on
start that conversation again around a new vehicle? Or do we?
Yeah, so if that, I don't think that's on here, but this is probably a good time to discuss it. Budget season's here,
Right.
so do you happen to have the calendar right there on your last year's calendar? It'll give us 19th?
17th, 19th, we're meeting with the select board.
So, third week of October-ish, the calendar's gonna be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, so. But third week of October, we'll be meeting with the, select board, and then we'll meet with the budget committee the following week, so we basically got a month to get our budget planned out for next year, so. Obviously, there'll be time to make an adjustment after that, but that really needs to be, the lion's share of it needs to be done at that point, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and at that time, it's a good time to approach the subject about what we wanna do with the truck. We were planning on buying one this year, so.
Yeah.
So we just should buy one next year, and do whatever we're gonna do. We'll do it at town meeting. Select board denied us. I don't know what we need the select board for. Oh, cause we wanna do it on.
We were gonna finance
We wanted to
it.
do financing, so we'll go to town meeting and get it from there.
Okay, so.
Excuse me.
All right. Ready? The status of the sludge removal RFPs. So I sent everybody just an FYI on it last week or something. So basically what it boiled down to was RCS Environmental was the only one that quoted both parts of it, right? The sludge transfer part of it and the complete mix restoration. So it was our only option in that. So there was some verbiage in there about how the money looks and how we were going to subcontract part of that so we could avoid some of the requirements of the DES so we could get this done, right? Otherwise, they don't know that we're going to find someone who's going to do the whole package. They approved that. We sent it back for RFPs. The timeline expired. We got 2 for the sludge transfer and 1 for the complete mix. I think their explanation in there shows that part of the sludge transfer has some stuff in there for removing the cover and why it was sizably more than the other bidder there. Anyway, so moving forward to now, I signed the paperwork to submit it back to DES for final approval, and Dave got an email. Let's see, I got included in that from the construction management engineer at DES saying that she received the request and will respond as soon as it is reviewed. So haven't asked Dave yet if this puts us with a big enough window to be in this year.
That was my very first question.
Right. I'm sure that's a quick email. Dave responds literally 24/7, 365. So, and he's still going to call him anytime.
Yeah, he's very good like that.
Yeah. He's answered my email, and I've caught up on a Sunday morning, and he's answered me within 20 minutes on a Sunday. So yeah, so the good part is we've locked somebody in. The hope is that we have plenty of time left in this year. It's just whether or not the person that gave the bid, which was
Yeah, because our winter season is like February, right? March or something like that.
that's when you
That's
start.
when everything's done,
Yeah.
and we've hit the bottom, and then we're just waiting for warm season, recovering from there. That's the
Right.
season that we need to be living in
Yep.
with the new upgraded equipment to see how it's working. That's
Yep.
the pilot season that we need. So
Yep.
we have that much time
Yep.
to get this done.
yeah,
so.
provided nothing really slows it down, right?
Right.
And I mean, aside from an early winter that
Right.
maybe freezes up, but yeah, my hope is that
This is the company that's not pulling the covers though, right?
They're going under the cover.
They're going under the
Yeah,
cover,
yeah.
right?
It sounds terrifying,
Sounds
frankly,
awful.
in a number of ways.
My God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
good and bad, right? Like we don't have to worry about the covers.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
I think everybody that's talked about the covers has indicated that you pull them off, you're gonna have problems.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So I'm good. Right.
Mm.
Yeah, the company's RCS environment.
So Lemna's out. We got no Lemna coming down, but we don't. These guys are gonna go under the cover, so we don't need them here.
Right.
Good.
Yep. So moving forward on that.
Is that a search and rescue or a water
Right.
rescue?
But what's Dave gonna come down in his dive suit and go in there? Don't think so.
I wouldn't even.
Leave a rope attached to the shore. We'll pull on it. That's it.
Don't get dangled up.
Is that a new suit or is that got a little leak?
Oh, man.
For the money, it better be a new suit every time.
Anybody got anything they want me to ask Dave or? Are we good for right now? I mean, I'm
Just a timeline. That was the only thing. I think everything else made perfect
Yeah,
sense.
you can just do that. Yeah, so that's good. I know. I saw some concern from residents that we were not moving forward with this, but it's really it was a DES timeline basically, and then bidders couldn't meet some of the guidelines, and we asked for a waiver and had to resubmit. And here we are. So this is as fast as we could possibly do it.
We're looking to be under contract by May, and we're under contract by September. In the land of municipal government, I mean, we can't even get the grant people to call us back. So
Right,
yeah.
I feel like this is. I think you've done pretty well, Mike. So we appreciate your effort.
Yeah, some of it was. I mean, I've watched Dave remind them sometimes, but they've been pretty good on this. But yeah. Trying to be nice. So yeah, that's that. I just threw this on there because it came up my feed that there's another grant.
A leak detection grant.
Yeah.
They throw those out every single year.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it too. I get them all the time.
Yeah, maybe one of the things of the.
That's water, right?
Yep. We've done it here before.
The least of our
Yeah.
problems.
I've done it in Marlboro. I've gotten it for them. They just hire this company that comes in. They put listening equipment on hydrants, and what it does is it listens from one sensor to the other, and it'll give you, if there's a leak in between the two hydrants, it'll give you a distance. So the guy just sets them out overnight, goes and picks them up in the morning, uploads the information. He'll put a few of them out at a time. Yep, oh, there's something going on here. We did it, the last time we did it, we found, I think there was like 3 leaks. Found a few in Marlboro that weren't surfacing, but.
It's interesting how that works because the
Yeah.
system's live while they're doing that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
and it's crazy. Like he showed it to me before. Like you can tell, like it'll spit out like a graph, and you can tell if somebody gets up in the middle of the night runs a sink or flushes the toilet, because you'll see
Yeah.
you'd be like so many feet down the line from here to here, so probably that house got up at 2:0
Yeah.
Wow.
whatever.
Oh.
So what it looks for is a constant sound.
Yeah.
It'll spike up like as it gets closer.
Yeah.
It listens
So,
for
so
a
it's not
constant.
much to get the grant.
No. And then he'll walk around and he'll pinpoint it. Although
Is it something that we should just, like, you should do with Tobin, just to do? And
Well, it's due in a,
good.
yeah, it's due in a month.
Yep.
I mean, right? I mean,
We could plan it out annually. I'm pretty sure it comes out every September.
Right.
I think I've seen this
I
thing.
just didn't know if it's something to train Tobin on or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, and then, right, and someone down here, maybe if we do like an whatever we call it like a office admin, it'd be great to get them trained in grant
Yep.
writing and all that. Cause there's a bunch of money out there, and I don't know what it takes, but.
Good.
We're good. Kristen Tilton is, she's on the trustees of trust funds, and she's doing grant writing courses right now. I think the same courses that Rhonda was doing.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I don't know what her appetite is for it, but
Grant
I don't
writers
know
make
exactly what she's doing
huge
that
money.
for, but I can talk to her and see if
Yeah, I think we can.
if she's looking to do something with the town or whatever. We'd certainly be willing to pay somebody for that. It'd be a very worthwhile expense.
All right, we're doing good.
All right.
7 o'clock meeting, it's only 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and you guys got here nice and early
Yeah.
for your 7 o'clock meeting.
I want over.
I was the only one that was late.
Pest, pest control I haven't done with other
Yeah,
than my
I think I meant to ditch it off of here, but.
other than my traps that I got set up that I still haven't caught anything on.
Really?
It's the most disappointing thing,
It is.
frankly.
I was excited for like the first 3 days. It was the
Yeah,
first thing I
I
checked.
got some. Yeah,
And when you
I
go,
got
I
some.
got
Yeah.
Tobin, I'm telling you, this works.
I did one in my garage, and I know I got one in my garage. The same thing. I kept going out. I can't wait to see how many I got in there. Nope. So,
All right.
Yeah.
So operators report. I wrote it down this time. Services on Russell Ave are done. We did those last week. We're doing the hydrant tomorrow. We hung out notices today, and we will be done with all the services on Russell Ave. The all
So
over
that they can move forward with asphalt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so that
What
was
about
all
a
the things.
riser on that other hydrant?
And we can put a riser on that, which we can do that after they pave. That's not a big deal. The generator we talked about. Tires on the GMC we talked about. Lead and copper samples. We handed out bottles yesterday. We've got, I think, 7 of them back. Just got to get 3 more. So we'll have those will be submitted for lead and copper samples.
Are we on track with all the lead and copper requirements that kind of started coming down from
Yep.
the state in
Yep.
the last year and a half?
We've been taking pictures and getting
Okay.
pictures in, so
Okay.
we'll really put a charge on that once after next week. Next week we've got toxicity samples Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're planning on reading next week. So
That's Tobin's first read, right?
yep. So he's taking it on pretty quick. I'll have to teach him how to link guns and stuff. It's pretty easy. It may take him a couple times. You only do it once a quarter, but
How many guns you got?
2. But the problem is you can only link one at a time. So to make it go quicker, each gun will hold 99 reads.
Yep.
So what I used to do is I would send Nick out and do the riding route, like Monadnock Street, North Main Street, just where the houses are far apart,
Yep.
with the handheld. And I would just go out with the gun and I'd walk. I'd do like the Common, School Street, I'd do all that. I got like right around 99 reads. Give him a call, have him come meet me somewhere. I would give him, or I would take his gun and link mine. So it would collect all my reads that it had stored. And he could go off and do his thing while everything uploaded onto the gun, and then I could just keep going. So we just do a switch.
Yep.
It worked slick. We got it done pretty quick. So
What are you expecting for a timeline to get that done? You and
2
Toby?
days.
2 days?
I think the fastest I've got it done is like a day and a half. I was hustling and wore my sneakers that day.
Get your bike out.
I could. Get a Segway.
Put that on the budget. Yeah, that's what the going feed guys are showing up on, is Segways.
Yeah. So, heater. I ordered a new heater for the effluent building. I ordered it off Northern Tools. The cheapest I found was like $120. That heater's not keeping up, so it's a lot cheaper than having a barrel freeze at, because that bisulfite freezes at 50 degrees. So
Really?
yeah, well, it doesn't freeze; it crystallizes,
Right.
and
Oh.
it's a solid block. So
Huh, interesting.
yep.
What is that? What heater? What does that look like for a heater? Is it just a little?
It's just a 220 garage heater that hangs from the ceiling,
What's that run on?
electric.
That's probably resistance heating. That's probably pretty big. Okay.
Yeah. DBP samples are done. Disinfection byproducts. Do those once a year, third quarter. So that's all done. And I let you know about the new hire. Also met with Ebby on that stuff. So we were pretty well tied up on Russell Ave last week. So
Yep.
Did you get an elevation for manhole chest?
still haven't got an elevation. My thing is, I don't think he's gonna have an elevation for us. It's gonna be okay. Where they need to go up or down or whatever. I don't know if they're gonna mill it or what's going on. So every time I talk to him, it changes. So
I hope we don't pave over the top of those manholes, cause they're in trouble, you know what I mean, like, they need to be rebuilt, so.
yeah,
That would be horrible if they paved that street, or even shim that street.
What's end of October? Is that what they're shooting for on asphalt?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I thought somebody had mentioned end of October or something.
I was told this month, so.
Okay.
I was originally told this month. But
Oh, okay. All right,
Last
I may be
month
misinformed.
it was next month, so.
That sounds like this month.
There again, I don't know. I asked for an elevation, he said next week.
We've been talking about this all summer.
He was
You'll
meeting
have
with-
an elevation next week.
No, this was last month.
Oh,
He said he was meeting with Arlington.
yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to hear that we were doing it. I wasn't here for that.
Well, I think the few that we've had open over there, there's,
This Brook Street's worse.
well, no, Brook Street's horrible, but
Those are
it
gonna
was,
need to be built up.
there was like 3 or 4 courses in there.
Yeah.
Up red.
Yeah.
And the intention is to, when we do this, is to get the brick out of there, put a
Yep.
collar in, and then put one course of brick or whatever it is you're planning on doing, and get
That's
rid
what
of
I
that.
would do is one course,
Yeah.
just so you have adjustment.
Yeah. I hate the idea of breaking there. It's just, I can't believe there's no other way of doing that, but you would know better than I would, so, yeah.
Alright, anybody got anything else they wanna see on the agenda for
An
the next
elevation.
meeting? No? Nobody talking once? Nope. Okay, in that case.
Budget definitely needs to be on
Yeah, I got that.
next agenda.
Right.
What are our meetings in between now and,
November 26th.
okay. And then, so we have 2 meetings to
Right.
get this done. Okay, that's all right, we can do that. It's not, I'm talking about rocket science here.
October 9th will be the next one.
Okay.
Okay, the only thing I'll add is that, excuse me, I, signed the paperwork with Jordan, for the next, payback for. So,
I left those out on purpose.
I don't know how.
Thanks, man.
Where'd this come?
How does that usually work? We pay out first, they pay out last, so yeah, so we should be,
We got a whole drawer. Is there any lifesavers in there?
Mike, were you,
Oh,
were you
I'm
talking?
right.
These guys are eating candy.
Sorry, Mike.
That's all right.
Lollipop there?
I'm good.
It looks like,
Hey, some home for your boy. Look at that. A whole thing of red ones.
He actually doesn't eat the lollipops. Shockingly.
Good man. Shape.
So we'll be, like, just put a request in for 48,715.
The request for
Um,
from the state, or we need to write a check before we start?
no,
Take these home, man.
Go for it. USA Blue Book sends them whenever you order something.
I don't know,
So you
this could
pop to
kick
it.
the cigarette smoking thing.
There you go.
Tried the Lifesavers, but Ben eats them all on me.
no, this was the form for disbursement from the state.
So they're sending us a check.
Should be.
I like that.
Just requested one.
That's much better, dude.
It's gonna be 48,000. Okay, other than that, we can hop into non-public for the rest.
Motion to go into non-public under staffing or what, I don't know, it's gonna be a little bit about the,
Two separate ones for whatever they're about.
yeah, cause it's gonna be about hiring and firing, and it's gonna be about, do we have to do, we probably have to do separate ones, cause it's also gonna be about like, the shut-off list.
C,
Reputation.
yes.
You kinda cover everybody in that one.
We'll do B, then C, then L, I think.
B, C, then L.
Oh.
Okay, so
You
B
gotta sign
is the
Oh,
hiring,
That's for
firing.
the,
Yep,
Yes.
I know exactly what it is, yeah.
for water. I filled it out 14 times and sent it in. and-
I'll second that.
Roll call.